I want to dedicate all of the following poems to all the Marines that are overseas right now, especially to my Marine who is going overseas very, very shortly. I apologize, there are quite a few poems, but here we go. The first one is called The Soldier's Prayer. It's on a Marine grave inscription on Guadalcanal from 1942. And when he gets to heaven, to St. Peter he will tell, "One more Marine reporting, sir, I've served my time in hell." Next up we have It's the Soldier by Charles M. Provence. A protest raged on a courthouse lawn. Round a makeshift stage they charged on. 1,500 or more, they say, had come up to burn a flag that day. A boy held up the folded flag, cursed it and called it a dirty rag. An old man pushed through the angry crowd, with a rusty shotgun shouldered proud. His uniform jacket was old and tight. He had polished each button shiny and bright. He crossed that stage with a soldier's grace, until he and the boy stood face to face. "Freedom of speech," the old man said, "is worth dying for. Good men are dead. So you can stand on this courthouse lawn and talk us down from dusk to dawn. But before any flag gets burned today, this old man is going to have his say. My father died on a foreign shore, in a war they said would end all war. But Tommy and I weren't even full grown before we fought in a war of our own. And Tommy died on Iwo Jima's beach, in the shadow of a hill he couldn't quite reach, where 5 good men raised this flag so high that the whole world could see it fly. I got this bum leg that I still drag, fighting for this same old flag. Now there's but one shot in this old gun, so now it's time to decide which one of you will follow our lead, to stand and die for what you believe. For as sure as there is a rising sun, you'll burn before this flag burns, son." Now this riot never came to pass. The crowd got quiet and that can of gas got set aside as they walked away, to talk about what they had heard that day. And the boy who had called it a dirty old rag handed the old soldier the folded flag. So the battle of the flag this day was won by a tired old soldier with a rusty gun, who may one last time had to show to some, this flag may fade, yet these colors don't run. The next one is Through a Glass Darkly. It's written by George S. Patton, Jr. Through the travail of the ages, midst the pomp and toil of war, have I fought and strove and perished countless times upon this star. In the form of many people, in all the panoplies of time, have I seen the luring vision of the victory made sublime. I have battled for fresh mammoth, I have warred for pastures new, I have listened to the whispers with the racetrack instinct grew. I have known the call to battle in each changeless changing shape, from the high-souled voice of conscience to the beastly lust for rape. I have sinned and I have suffered, played the hero and the knave, fought for belly, shame, or country, and for each have found a grave. I cannot name my battles, for the visions are not clear, yet I see the twisted faces, and I feel the rending spear. Perhaps I stabbed our Savior in his sacred helpless side, yet I've called his name in blessing when after times I've died. In the dimness of the shadows, where we hairy heathens warred, I can taste in thought the lifeblood when we use teeth before the sword. While in later, clearer vision, I can sense the coppery sweat, feel the pikes grow wet and slippery where our phalanx Cyrus met. Hear the rattle of the harness, hear the Persian darts bounce clear, see their chariots' wheels in panic from the hoplites' leveled spear. See the gold grow monthly larger, reaching for the walls of Tyre, hear the crash of tons of granite, smell the quenchless eastern fire. Still more clearly as a Roman can I see the legion close, as our third rank moved in forward, and the short sword found our foes. Once again I feel the anguish of that blistering treeless plain, where the Parthian showered death bolts, and our discipline was in vain. I remember all the suffering of those arrows in my neck, yet I stabbed a grinning savage as I died upon my back. Once again I smell the heat sparks where my Flemish plate gave way, and the lance ripped through my entrails, and on Crecy's field I lay. In the windless blinding stillness of the glittering tropic sea, I can see the bubbles rising when we set the captives free. Midst the spume of half a tempest I have heard the bulwarks go, when the crashing point-blank round shot sent destruction to our foe. I have fought with gun and cutlass on the red and slippery deck, with all hell aflame within me and a rope around my neck. And still later as a general have I galloped with Murat, when we laughed at death in numbers, trusting in the Emperor's star, till at last our self faded, and we shouted to our doom, where the sunken road of Ohain closed us in its quivering gloom. So, but now, with tanks a-clatter, have I waddled on the foe, belching death at 20 paces, by the star-shell's ghastly glow. So as through a glass and darkly the age-long strife I see, where I fought in many guises, many names, but always me. And I see not in my blindness what the objects were I wrought, but as God rules o'er our bickerings, it was through His will I fought. So forever in the future shall I battle as of yore, dying to be born a fighter, but to die again once more. Next up we have Sniper's Serenity by Robert W. Baird, U.S. Marine Corps sniper. A green phantom stalks these lands, 30-06 in a master's hands. Chamber a matched perfect round, slide home the bolt, forward and down. Stage attached, loose and cool, time your breathing, remember the rule. Get them now, kill them clean, before they can hurt another Marine. The first dies quick, the second has looked, that one dies fast, a third has booked. Number 3 goes down, sight on number 4, this one's for my brothers of the Corps. Even now at home I remember that scene, the 4 of them and a young Marine. I would do it again, once more with pride. To protect my Marines, the enemy has died. Next is Ode to a Marine by John Ware. In a crowd you're bound to spot him, he's standing so very tall. Not too much impresses him, he's seen and done it all. His hair is short, his eyes are sharp, but his smile's a little blue. It's the only indication of the hell that he's gone through. He belongs to a sacred brotherhood, always faithful till the end. He has walked right into battle and walked back out again. Many people think him foolish for having no regrets. About having lived through many times others would forget. He's the first to go and the last to know, but never questions why. Only whether it is right or wrong, but only do or die. He walks a path most won't take, and has lost much along the way. But he thinks a lot of freedom, it's a small price to pay. Yes, he has chosen to live a life off the beaten track, knowing well each time he's called he might not make it back. So next time you see a devil dog standing proud and true, be grateful for all he's given it for you. Don't go up and ask him what it's like to be in war, just thank God that it's your country he's always fighting for. And thank him too for all the hell he's seen in that shade of green. Thank him for having the guts to be a United States Marine.